Hello, everybody. Let me adjust this thingamajig here. But yeah, oh, wait, hold up. Okay, this is Robert. Thank you so much for tuning in to the show. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward and grateful for, it's a really beautiful May evening. So I don't really do like episodes that is recorded like in the middle of as we're just now getting into the dusk hours, so to speak. But hey, I say that usually in the evening time is when we all wind down and just detox, distress, and unload after, just a very, very, very long day of work. And trust me, it has been a long day as of this recording. So, thank you so much for watching regardless, and hope everybody's doing well out there. And, I'll be able to share some quick announcements towards the end of this, but today we have a special guest that honestly I've been wanting on this podcast for quite some time now, but scheduling just never really worked out because I either end up getting swamped, they end up also getting swamped. But hey, we're here, just serendipitous, spontaneous type of thing. I mean, this really is just kind of
Yeah.
spontaneous as we're kind of was doing a meeting, and we're just like, you know what? Why not just do this now? So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Lauren Kong. Thank you so much for joining me on this lovely Wednesday evening as it's approaching.
Yeah.
But yeah, how are we doing? How are we doing? How are we doing?
Pretty good. Busy as always, but hey, we found the time finally.
Oh yeah, and speaking of busyness, just share a little bit about yourself and just have at it. It's your intro.
Sure, yeah. So I'm Lauren. I do a lot of voice acting, occasionally some on camera and stage stuff, but some of the stuff you might know me from is the most recent update of Maple Story, my time at Sandrock, and a ton of CalArts student films. So if you watch any of those, you might have heard me. But yeah, that's pretty much it about me.
Yeah, but right on, right on. And as we were just kind of discussing a little bit before this, it California has been pretty weird when it comes to weather, man.
Goodness. Yeah,
Super
no.
weird.
I'm from the Central Valley, so like living down in like the LA area now. Weather's so much more consistent. Back home it was like over 100 degrees for no reason.
Yeah, so you actually moved down to like LA, like so.
Yeah, I only moved down about like last year for school, for university. But I'm from like the Central Valley area, so Central California.
Oh man, and I can't even imagine how the weather must be over there because I'm from like the sort of OC-ish, and I know it gets
Yeah.
pretty humid. It is miserable during the summertime, that's all I can say.
No, Central California is truly a desert. It's like the weather's bipolar. In the summer, 115-degree summers. Winter, the ground freezes.
Yeah, I mean like there is just no in between when you're in SoCal especially, man.
Oh no, there's like a week of a season and then that's it.
Yeah, but I guess that's just about enough of us just ranting about the weather. Let's just talk about some stuff. So, I guess because we've been talking on Discord for quite some time, but I was kind of curious as to how you kind of discovered voice acting.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's a great question. I've kind of been aware of voice acting pretty much my entire life. I grew up on animation, on that kind of fun stuff, but what really, really got me interested in individual voice actors was watching Batman the Animated Series at like 8 to 10 years old.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let me show you this.
Oh my god. Yes! Oh my gosh, I have a hoodie. I have a hoodie. Hold on.
Oh wait, I don't know
Let me
if
invest
anybody
it.
can. Let me just turn this.
That's
Okay.
so epic. I have a similar sweatshirt here.
What? No way. Yo.
And on the back is like a list of every single episode from the original series.
What? Get out. What?
Yes. No, I love this sweatshirt.
Oh my god, bro. Okay. So over here, oh yeah, this just if I pull back my closet, This is pretty much where I record, by the way. But if I
Yeah.
open it up just a little bit, there's like a lot of Sonic stuff. Yeah, and just a signature. I unfortunately never got it signed by Kevin. I'm sad.
I
And
know.
also
I know.
Freakazoid. Yeah, that era, man. Talk about a trip, man. You just got me going on like a big nostalgia rush right now.
Yeah, no, that's really when I started learning about like individual voice actors and I just I thought it was really cool. I got into it around freshman year of high school. I started like looking into it and then really just jumped in and started doing it my junior year.
Yeah, it was Batman and also Animaniacs. And I
Oh,
soon
yeah.
realized that both of these were directed by none other than Andrea Romano.
The legend. Yes, truly.
Yeah. And then I found out she also directed like Avatar,
Oh,
SpongeBob,
yeah.
Like
Oh,
a lot of the Warner Brothers and some Disney stuff. But yeah,
once you start learning who these directors and casting directors are, you're like, they did everything.
they did everything.
like,
Literally did everything.
like casting director Wes Gleason. Literally
Ooh,
every
yeah.
single Warner Bros. Direct to DVD thing.
Yeah,
Meredith
it's so
Lane.
crazy. Yeah.
Same with Meredith Lane. She did all of those. Plus, she did like the 2012 Ninja Turtles and all that other stuff.
Yeah. Which was also Andrea.
Crazy, craziest world. Craziest small world.
Yeah, I think some of my all-time favorites are like Andrea, Jeannie McSwain. She did like a lot of the Disney Afternoon stuff way back
Yeah.
then. And I think she did. Then I found out recently she did Gravity Falls, so it still
Oh, I
falls into
so
Disney.
believe
So
it. I so believe it.
because you can, it's really cool that you could get to when you listen to the cast, then you listen to who. Okay, I wonder who's directing this show. It just you can just kind of tell right away.
Oh, yeah.
Like I just kind of have a good ear for stuff like that.
Yeah, you'll find like the little habits that they tend to have.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's kind of like, and it kind of goes into like the indie scene where if you're working with a creator or like if what show it is, then you could just kind of spot the little quirks and tidbits of what's
Absolutely,
going on.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Including my own, which we'll kind of get to later. But, but yeah, it's so awesome that Batman is kind of like, it was the show that really, like, I mean, honestly, I can
Yes.
remember when I first started watching Batman, man, I was just so blown because full disclosure, not really a big superhero guy. I just started watching it because I'm just like, okay, let's see what all the hype is. This is
And that it's positively peak.
it is so peak. Yo, they cooking with this.
They- You're like, oh, and I love it too because it was one of my dad and I both collect comic books, but it was like one of my
Yeah.
introductions to the comic world.
Yeah, and same with Avatar. I'm just like, okay, it's kind of a little slow, but then you get to like season 2 and 3, and it's like, oh, this show
There's
just turned
always
to
that
peak.
one episode. There's always that one episode where you're like, oh, I get it now. Oh,
Yeah,
I get it now.
because I think the episode that did it for me was the oh god, Tales of Boss Sing Say, I think.
Oh
You know
yes,
where
that one's excellent. That's an
yeah,
excellent
Iroh was
episode.
singing, okay, I don't want to tear up. I don't want to cry right now.
Iroh, incredible.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those shows that really got me into writing and storytelling for
Yeah,
real. But
so
yeah,
fun.
but besides, Batman, what were some other shows that really seemed to like, strike a chord?
Gosh.
Yeah.
Other ones that like for voice acting or just in general?
Well, just in general, like
Oh
really.
goodness. Ugh, so many. I would say one of the ones that really hit me, it's not animation, but it hit me like a freight train, and unsurprisingly, it's another superhero one. Netflix's Daredevil back in the day hit me like a freight train. It's so well done. It's so, so good.
I have not seen it.
It's again, I also do martial arts, so for me, also the martial arts choreography, incredible. Some of my favorite martial arts choreography. But just the acting. Charlie Cox is just incredible in the role. I love him. And everyone in that show, I think, really just kills it.
Yeah.
So
Like,
good.
what's one show that I've been watching recently? It's not so much animation, but more so live action because you gotta
Oh, yeah.
broaden your,
You gotta
y-
broaden it. All of it makes you a
yeah.
better actor.
exactly. I mean, I know they're kind of like some of the easy go-to choices, but Cobra Kai, Stranger Things,
Ah, yes.
stuff like
I'm so behind on
yeah,
television. I'm very
yeah.
behind.
I wish I could get into Wednesday, but I don't know.
I mean, it's not for everyone. It's
Yeah,
funny just because I love that aesthetic, that dark Tim Burton
yeah.
aesthetic.
And keep in mind, I do enjoy like I've seen the
It's
cartoon way back in
it's
the
a little
90s and
teen
also
boppy.
yeah, and also the movie that came out way back in the day. So
Oh, Adam's Family,
that
yeah.
yeah, Adam's Family. Yeah. I thought we were going to say Adam
We
Sandler,
love
but
Adam Sandler.
oh my god, I don't know why my brain just went to
No.
that, but no, Adam's Family. Oh god,
Adam's
Adam
Family,
Sandler,
yes.
Adam Family.
No,
Oh
love
boy, a
Adam's
Happy
Family.
Madison Adams Family. Oh boy.
Goodness.
Yeah, but no, you could just tell my age because I watch a lot of 90s and 2000s. I'm a
Yeah,
full-on Gen
yeah.
X millennial kid. Yeah.
I also recently finished watching The Penguin,
The
the
Penguin.
HBO Max show Penguin, based on the
Oh,
Matt
yeah.
Reeves
Okay, I
Batman
was
film.
like, you say the Penguin.
Ooh.
Okay, I was thinking to the Harley Quinn show.
Oh, no, I haven't really watched too much of the Harley Quinn show. I adore anything DC, obviously, but
Yeah.
gosh, I had to take a break because I watch stuff a lot when I work out at the gym because
Yeah.
that's when I have the
I
most
think
free
that's the
time.
only time we can watch stuff
It's
these
so
days,
true.
man.
We're running around
Yeah.
all the time, and it's like, all right, I'm on the treadmill. I may as well finally watch my show.
Exactly. Yeah, I was actually gonna do the gym today, but then like stuff
It
happened.
happens. It
Yeah, life
happens.
just
But
happens,
no,
bro. Yeah.
that show and the acting in it gutted me. Truly, truly so well done.
Man, I'm just like remembering. I'm trying to remember when was the last time. What was one acting performance that just really was so strong? It just really resonated to me on an emotional and a
For
personal
me, it
level.
was it was Sophia Falcone that entire show. I so well. Again, I know the comic character, and she's quite a bit different, but she's just so deeply human, and I like that's the only way I can put it. It's just so well done.
Yeah. Oh, it almost came to me, but I forgot the name of the movie. But
You hate
it was a
Micah.
yeah. It was based on like racial discrimination in a school and the hate you give. That's what it was.
Oh,
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't seen that one, but I am familiar with it.
With
Yes.
the book. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
I didn't even know it was based on a novel until, I saw the
So
movie and it
many.
was like,
Yeah, you
man.
get shocked how many films and TV shows are based on books.
Yeah.
In comic books too.
And this was definitely I believe it was released before we had the BLM, Black Lives Matter movement,
Oh, it was.
which
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Man, that was a man, 2020. That was a crazy time. Remember the
Yeah, it
days when we
was.
used to collect toilet paper? Man, Pepperidge Farm remembers? Pepperidge Farm
See, no,
remembers.
I have a very like I have a small family. There's just three of us, but my dad likes
I
to
have a
shop at
big
Costco
family.
because it's cheap.
We're polar opposites.
Nobody likes to shop at Costco because it's cheap. So we would be hoarding toilet paper even before the pandemic because you would buy so much when it was on sale.
Yeah, we hardly go to Costco. Also, the food is mid. I'm sorry.
But it's cheap. So like
Yeah.
my dad who eats for some reason like a college student still, even though he's in his 50s, you gotta you gotta get something to feed. Like there's only three of us.
Hey, you gotta. We have mouths to feed somehow. You just gotta
We
put
have
food in our
a
tummies.
mouth to feed, and then there's my mom and I.
Oh boy. Well, I never thought we actually talk a little bit about family here, but here, like I said, this is impromptu, y'all.
Yes, very,
This is
very. But no, that's what I'm saying.
unscripted. Yeah.
I'm very used to like my family's hoarded the toilet paper.
Oh man. I don't know how much we got now, but I don't know if we have as much as we did back in the good old days. Not really good
I
old
don't know if those
days.
were good old days.
I'm not. I know. That's why I'm just like, yeah. Should we call it the good old days or like the the Revelation days?
During the
Book of
lockdown.
Revelation, man. Yeah, because that's what it really felt like
Oh
back
my
then.
goodness.
But yeah, changing subject.
Yes, yeah.
Boy, we don't need any of that depressing old real world talk. Like, we
We
just
we
want to
look at
talk
it we
about,
look at it in a
yeah.
funny way now, to an extent.
Yeah, somewhat. I don't know.
To an extent.
To an extent, exactly. So after it was Batman, then you just kind of started, doing the voice acting stuff. Would you say that it kind of took a little bit for you to really find, I guess, your momentum in voiceover?
Um, so I had had an agent. I signed with my first like talent
Oh,
agent when I
congrats.
was a freshman in high school, funny
Yeah,
enough.
congrats. Yeah, congrats, by the
Yeah.
way.
Thank you. Yeah, it was like right before the pandemic started. So like my first test audition was a voiceover one. For obvious reasons. But, obviously there wasn't a ton of work at that time and it was a weird age. Like I was too young to play. I was too old to play a small child, but I was too young to play a teenager since a lot of the time they want adults to play teens. It's a weird age. It's a really weird age being like a teen actor. It's
I
really funny.
never got that, honestly.
It's because they can work the hours legally. That's why. But
True.
so yeah, I really didn't start getting into it though on my own until junior year. And I would say, like, I started with the same basic stuff. I made friends in the like the fan community kind of areas. But I would say I picked up momentum decently quick. Like I did a lot of training. I did theater and I did singing beforehand, which really did help. But yeah, I think I like had booked my first original role not too long after, like within the first few months. It was very shocking.
Yeah, and from there, I guess the snowball just kept rolling, huh?
I guess. I mean, it helped that I had that background really in like the singing and theater and all sorts of other stuff. It really did. I'm very certain that's the only
Yeah,
reason.
kind of like a domino effect where it's like,
Precisely.
and then that's
Precisely,
when
yeah.
everything just kind of, and then
And then it just,
precisely that's when it all
yeah,
happened. And
it just
that's
kind of
how I,
clicks.
yeah, it just clicked. And that's my life story in a nutshell.
Truly. And now I'm
Yeah, and
here.
this is story all about my pal. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, straight up. So, yeah, I think it's something else that I also wanted to talk to you about, which is like,
Yeah.
because outside of voice acting, you do screen, on camera, stage, and you pretty much run the pretty much it is a triple threat of when it comes to acting stuff. So, I guess for you personally, what would you say is kind of like the most fun, or at least the most challenging
Ooh.
from all the
Ooh.
acting, just in
Okay.
general?
Okay. They're a little bit different. So, most fun, easily, I would say is a lot of the voiceover stuff. I get to do some of the most unique characters. I get to do all that. But when it comes to on screen, I recently just did something where I got to do just a ton of like special effects makeup. So much fun. Truly getting to like be a little creature covered in like blood for like a horror kind of thing. So much fun. I think that's and it really does help you get into character. All the makeup, all that. I'd say that's super fun as well. But most difficult, I would say, is certainly on stage stuff. I adore it. I haven't done it in a few years because school, but it is, I think, hardest because it is the biggest time commitment. When you do like a voiceover thing, you have a couple sessions in the booth and then that's it. You don't really do rehearsals, you don't do all that kind of stuff. You're not doing multiple shows a week. But same thing with on camera, you get to do multiple takes, all the like, but for stage, it's difficult, but it's also very freeing in that way where it's like you don't get multiple takes. You get the one take. You have to do all the rehearsals. You have to do all this, that, and the other thing. It's very different, but I would say that does make it a lot harder in some senses. But it's so much fun.
So, in a way, you're able to carry over those skills into voiceover pretty
Oh,
seamless.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, all of them you're portraying a human, like you are, or maybe a non-human, but at the end of the day, you're playing someone or something with emotions and feelings and that has some sort of human core. So
Same goes for singing because I know that, sing can definitely, yeah.
positively, absolutely, absolutely. I love singing for that reason. It's just there's something about it that's just so different, and I especially love when I get to sing for roles. It's just so different.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, look, I came from a background of choir and improv and doing some, so I guess a little bit fun, little, background about me. So how I kind of
Fun
stumbled into
facts.
VO. Yeah, just fun facts. Like I did improv, in elementary. I'm still signing up for more improv stuff right now. So that's kind of my background. I did sing in choir, but I think I only did like maybe one production, but that's just about it. So I'm not like what you consider to be like a theater kid or
Theater
like
kid.
a Broadway, a star, or, that theater, live and breathe every day. So that's how I mean, that's what voice acting, but I mean, honestly, like I said, broaden your skills
It's
because
all
I just,
connected.
yeah, exactly. So I just recently took some acting, not voice acting, but like just,
Yeah.
for on camera and film and just having to learn about, and I know you have to do this too with self-tape auditions, submissions, and stuff like
Oh,
that.
Lordy, yes.
Yeah, and boy, I mean, look, auditioning behind a microphone, like, it's fun, but doing a self-tape, it's its own, beast
It's its own
altogether.
beast. It's its own beast. The
Yeah.
hardest part is the setup. Hardest part of self tape is the setup.
Oh, and finding somebody to read with you.
Well, I will say that's the beauty of technology now.
Exactly, yeah. Like, we could just
But
do it over Zoom, so I don't
over
have to
Zoom,
look
or
for.
honestly, sometimes I will say if I'm in a crunch, like I just recently had an audition over the weekend. There's an app that I recently discovered that I adore called Cold Read.
Okay, so
We
you just,
love Cold Read.
yeah, yeah, just do that. Yeah, I was about to say.
We love, yeah. So no, I mean, again, the hardest part's the setup. The behind the scenes stuff for a self tape truly is the hardest part.
Seriously. But it pays off when you do book it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So I do want to also ask this
Yeah.
because as somebody who just recently got into casting myself, being a director and everything, how is the process like? Just taking on a mantle of being a director and being on the other side
Oh
of the
my
glass.
goodness. Oh my goodness, that's such a great question. So I've only more recently done it. I do not cast too often, just as a preface.
Me neither. Yeah. I
But I
just
worked on a
started,
couple
so
projects. Yeah, no, I've worked on a couple projects. I cast one indie game by myself, and then I work on a team with other casting directors as a casting and voice director for an indie animated series called Dyad. Absolutely adore that project. But oh my gosh, when you're getting just flooded and inundated with auditions, especially
boy.
because a lot of our auditions have been open, which, hey, if next time we have one, go audition, everybody. But we love to hear new voices. But it's that organization. I will say we do work as a team, but all of us in the casting department do listen to every single audition individually. All of us listen to them. We don't split the work in that sense. If we are all casting, unless like we're just like only one of us casting for a character. But for the most part, if we are all casting for like one or two or three characters, we all listen to all of them, or and the likes. It is exhausting to say the least. Um, but the hardest part is that we love and appreciate everyone, and I think that's the biggest part. And it's just so hard to choose. That's the hardest part. It's always hard to choose because we're like, we love this, we love that. But it's given me a new perspective on just how hard it is.
Yeah, because you just want to cast the right person for the job, and
Yes,
it's like
you
there's
want to
so many
cast the right
amazing.
person.
Yeah,
No,
there's
no,
so.
I'm totally
Yeah.
agreeing. Yeah.
Yeah, I should probably share with you my experience, after
Yeah.
this recording. But yeah,
Yeah.
dude, it's like you just want to cast somebody for this role, but then last second, somebody sends in an audition that's better, and you're just like,
It's the hardest feeling in the world, and that's why we do try to have really hard cutoff dates because we're like we love every single audition, but at the end of the day, following the directions is a huge thing as well.
exactly.
And it's just not fair if we've already had someone that we picked and then someone sends one last minute and it's like, It just feels
Or
so
like
wrong.
no, like right before deadline, like an
Oh,
hour 30, like the
yeah.
day of the deadline,
The day of is when you get flooded.
without fail,
Without
every single
fail, it's
time.
like 100 people will send it in, and you're like, oh my goodness. Oh
Oh,
my
you're
goodness.
y'all are not making this easy, bro.
But on the directing side, I love it. It's so much fun. I am a much more like I'm a much newer actor or not actor, director, but I mean it really does translate to being able to direct well, understanding acting and understanding like how to give an actor the room to explore it, but also kind of rein them in when you need a certain performance. It really does help, and it helps you be able to kind of guide the actor, especially when I work with actors on our team, because we do work with a lot of newer actors who aren't as experienced. It's so much fun getting to help them get to that place.
Exactly.
It's
And
very
it's also a
rewarding.
great learning experience.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
you
Yeah.
know, if you're an actor, you could try directing or be an audio engineer, you know. The
Audio
possibilities
engineer is a
are
little
open.
hard, but
Yeah, I kind of do respect kind of those that do it for a living, you know, engineering and also act. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not an engineer, okay? I'm just acting and I direct and produce and right.
Yes. Yeah,
Those are the
exactly.
skills that I know that I'm really confident in.
Yes, exactly. It's like I could try, but that's not my strong suit.
Yep, exactly. So this is kind of like a cliche question, but what have been your
Sure.
favorite characters that you've played, you know, throughout your
Always
career?
the question always changes, this answer always changes as new things come out, as I'm allowed to talk about new things, because there are many things that
Yeah,
I would
that's the
love
tricky
to
part. That's the
see.
catch.
Goodness, yeah, I was talking to someone recently and they were like, oh, what are some things that you've done? And I was like, oh, my biggest ones right now are under NDA. And they were like, I understand. But I would say some of the most fun. Ooh, number one is obviously my first in studio session, which was for Maple Story. Uh,
Oh my God.
Absolutely adored getting to go in
That
studio.
takes me back, Maple
Yeah.
Story.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Mark Groff, for like having me in person. Absolutely loved recording that. It was
Thank you,
crazy
Mark.
recording for a game that was older than me. Like, the 2003 game, crazy. That one was so much fun though, and getting to have like an actual director and an engineer it with me and like all the team on Zoom, so much fun. Truly, just such a fun experience. But other favorites, I would say I adore Bach from one of the CalArts films, a couple of the CalArts films I've done. The entire cast of Bloodbound and Curtain Call. Everyone I've voiced in those has been so much fun. And oh my goodness, what would be the last one? It's always hard. I would say probably Luna from my time at Sandrock, which was my first like other game. That one was so much fun. I got to sing for that role, and I got to play siblings with one of my good friends, Jerron Bacat. So that was always really fun to like after a session be like, "Hey, how'd your session go?" with them, and we just talk about like our scenes.
Yeah. That must have been so fun. Like just even talking about each and every single project you've done, just that would be like
Yeah.
an entirely separate just
Oh my
in
goodness. I
episode.
could
That
go
would
on
make
and
some
on
good
about how much
content.
I love
Yeah.
them. I could go on and on about how much I love every project I do.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's always, you know, follow up or next time, you know. Yeah. I always do follow ups on here,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah.
No,
Just want
I'd
to
so be down.
plug that out there. Yeah. But actually, I do have an interesting question for you.
Yeah,
So,
what's up?
you know, with Filipino and Chinese, because I know we're beginning like a lot of more like
Yeah, authentic
authenticity
casting.
in,
Yeah.
yeah, with voiceover and casting and stuff like that. So, how would you say that, you know, especially when it comes to finding your own unique voice or identity, how would you say that it really helped you tune into your character work and add a lot more authenticity into not just for voice acting, but just pretty much all that you do with your creative
Yeah.
endeavors? How would you say that
Oh,
that has been
absolutely.
super helpful in your life?
I mean, they always say this, but whenever you act, you put a little bit of yourself into every character.
Exactly.
And that couldn't be more true when I get to implement my experiences. Like getting to work with a lot of Asian directors on a lot of projects that are like mainly Asian, whether they're on camera or whatnot. It's just very, especially like with the Filipino side, where it's something that I had to actively seek out, like a representation. It's very freeing, and it's very heartwarming. Like even in my most recent project, where I got to bring in a lot of Filipino like folklore and culture, as like playing a manananggal, which is our most famous monster. Um, it was just so much fun. It was just, sure, it's this terrifying creature that every little kid is scared of if they're Filipino, but I mean, something about getting to play that creature or getting to bring it to life in any way, it just, it's something that I never thought I would be able to do. And it's something that I just, it makes me very proud. And it very much pulls from a lot of my own experiences with my family, with everything, like with the whole representation and whatnot.
Yeah. I think the characters that I play are just kind of snippets of me, whether it's storytelling, just voice, just playing these roles, whether they share, my faith, for instance, non-denominational Christian, or
Yeah.
just, just being African American. I'm really glad that we're seeing more like characters that are just us, that are just real, and not
Yes.
just kind of
Yes.
stereotypes or, just
Oh,
what,
absolutely.
yeah. It just have
Absolutely.
it be like how the world perceives them to be. Like, no, we just want to share stories that are very uniquely ourselves, and just
Yeah.
not afraid to just put ourselves out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And just getting to
Yeah.
share like the culture and the beauty of it, honestly. The beauty and the terror and the realness of it is just so
Yeah,
special. It really is.
exactly. Yeah. So what would you say is something that really fulfills you or just makes you just still gives you just that smile every single time about, doing any of this VO and just all of the activities you do?
I mean, it's just the freedom of it, honestly. Like, there's so much you have pent up on a day to day, even if a character's the complete opposite of me. Like, it's an angry, mean, aggressive, loud kind of thing. It's still part of me. It's still very uniquely human. It's still very uniquely an experience and freeing, honestly. Like, when you get to be those mean, angry characters that are not like you in real life, it's very freeing to let out your anger about something that you would never do. And it's just, it's fun. At the end of the day, it's fun. I'm playing pretend. I'm getting to be someone else, step in someone else's shoes, learn about someone else. Like, yeah, there's parts of me, but at the end of the day, it's still someone a little bit different than me. An actor is not their character, and I'm getting to step into someone's shoes, someone else's shoes for a day.
Yeah. Play pretend. Definitely hearing Richard Horvitz in there. Like right when you say that, I immediately am just like, bro,
I've,
Richard just is always kind of like our spirit animal is what we need. I kid
if
you
I'm
not,
honest,
man.
I've actually not taken a workshop with him.
You should. You honestly
I
should.
I I absolutely want to. It is on the bucket
Yeah.
list. But
And yeah,
yeah,
same
that's
to
just
anybody
how
watching
I view
this.
it.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, any advice for self-care, mental health? Because I know you say that you do martial arts. So, yeah, how has that also been really helpful in incorporating some of those skills into what you're doing right now?
Well, number one thing is it helps with on camera when there's fight scenes or stunts that need to be
Yep.
choreographed. Doing it
Obvious. Yep.
safely,
That's
knowing
the
how to
big
do
one.
technique, knowing how to make it look cool. Cool versus practical. um, and then it's also been very good because it's physical exercise. It's good for you mentally. It teaches a lot about discipline, teaches a lot about, especially depending on the type of martial art and the instructor you get, the history and the culture, and you learn about that human experience, that history. Um, and again, it's good for learning how to center yourself and take care of yourself and just doing the things that you love. And sure, I adore acting, but I can't have that be the only thing that I do all the time, always. You gotta have
Me
other
neither.
things. You gotta. The best advice I ever got, especially as a young actor, like I was 16 when I got this advice, was live your life, and living your life makes you a better actor, because what actors do is portray life. Like living your life, doing other activities, going out with your friends. You don't need to train all the time. You don't need to do workshops all the time, because your training is just living.
That is so beautiful. I am totally stealing that. Steal from the
Yeah.
best. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just learning to live. How else are you going to portray a character with any sort of life experience if you haven't done anything? If you've only done acting classes, how are you going to portray life?
Yeah. And it can also help you during hard times as well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's great
Yeah.
for centering yourself. It's great for your mental and, again, your physical, like I mentioned, for martial arts and all that. And also really helps when I do efforts, when I scream in a booth and whatnot.
Oh God. Well, get ready for summertime because yeah. It's because we mentioned California, it's gonna be a killer when you're in the booth screaming.
Oh, trust me, I'm very aware, especially when I have to turn off the AC, so it.
I mean, I don't know if you can hear it. We just had the AC on earlier, but hopefully you didn't hear. But
It's
yeah,
fine.
yeah, it could be a good workout if you don't really want to do the gym. So cheat day, but in a good cheat day. Okay,
Cheat day, but it's
we
like,
have a good
you're having a mental work.
mental breakdown. Yeah. So, God. But anyways, I think we'll just wrap this up in the next part coming shortly. So if you like this so far, hold up. Yeah, if you're enjoying this so far, do the subscribe, like, YouTube, Mumbo Jumbo, and we'll see you all in the finale in a minute or two. I don't know. Anyways, I'll see you on a bit. Okay, peace.
Yeah.
Alrighty, we are back, and looks like we should be good to go to continue with this finale. So, share a little bit about your radio because you just brought that up with me. So,
Oh goodness, yeah. So I was a promotions intern at a local radio broadcasting station or studio back in my hometown. Uh, I did that for a little over a year. So most of what I did, yeah, I did some behind the scenes stuff. I did some like social media stuff. I did some analytics for them behind the scenes. But I also did a lot of content creation on a morning show. So I did a lot of live radio talk show stuff for over a year. Um, Gosh, yeah, it was early mornings for that one. Had to be in the studio by 6 a.m. and I lived 30 minutes away.
those, they do not play, man. They really don't play with those early
Don't.
morning.
They really don't play. And so I was like a third little co-host, and I would do that before I went to school, and then from there at the studio, I'd leave the show a little early, and I'd go to school and do high school.
God. I don't know if I could have because here's what I did for many years. It wasn't radio, but it was a
Yeah.
training. Oh yeah, that's also a little fun fact about me. I did a training program where it was sort of like more military army stuff, and we have to be at this church that I still go to now, and we have to be there by like 7 in the morning. So I had to get up at
Yeah.
like 5, 6 every Saturday
Yep.
for that. But that was like around a decade or so ago. Not sure how I do now, but hey, you got to make that commitment, man. When you make a
Yeah.
commitment, you
You
need to
gotta
stick
be
with
there.
it.
You
Yeah,
gotta be
exactly.
there.
That's
If you say
important.
you're gonna be there, you're there.
Yeah, big piece of advice to anybody that wants to do this. Just,
Yeah, huge
yeah.
piece of advice too, and that like it was instilled in me at a young age. If you're on time, you're late. If you're early, you're on time. Like that was a
Oh,
huge thing
yeah.
in my household. Huge.
All the time. Well, I mean, I had to push this back because but
That's
communication is
fine.
also important
Communication is
because,
key. If you are
yeah.
running late, communication is key though.
Yeah, and it's stuff that needed to be taken care of, which is super
Oh,
important. But
absolutely. Yeah. No,
I
that's how
mean,
it
family,
goes.
yeah. So it is improving, thank Jesus. But yeah, you just gotta take care of life and
Yeah.
have fun with the other. Try to have that balance, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the balance. Like, yes, you can be late. That's just the phrase that we used in my household because they didn't want me late for school.
Oh, absolutely, of course, of course, of course. Um, so let me see here. What is something else that you've kind of been also dabbling? Because I think when we spoke, I think you also do art or something.
Oh my goodness, yes. So, for many years, before I was even doing voice acting, I did a lot of drawing. I do a lot of art stuff on the side. I don't do so much anymore, but I used to, especially when I did like my own covers, like when I did cover music, I did all my own art for those. I did all my own art, all my own editing, for the most part, except when I had like guest editors. So like I have like my one of my sketchbooks here. I used to draw a lot more, but I did a lot of comic books, so I would draw a lot of stuff based on comics, stuff like that. So
Nice.
I did a lot more digital art back in the day. I do a lot less now. I used to do more character design, but I still do it from time to time. I draw all my
Yeah.
own graphics and all that stuff.
Cool. Yeah, I wish I had the time for that now, just drawing. Yeah.
I'm so glad I started doing it in elementary school and I learned all the hardest basics back then. Like obviously
Yeah.
I'm not a professional artist quality. That's just I don't have the time to put into that anymore. At least I don't make the time for that like I did because I make time for other things. But I still do it. I still think that, I haven't let myself go so far back as to stick figures. But it's something I enjoy. And I'm glad I've kept it still as a hobby on the side. Again, like we
Yeah.
talked about earlier, letting yourself have those hobbies and maintain that balance.
Yeah. Because I know you've also got something to do when you're not working. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. You got to have things to do when you're not working. You got to have things to do that are not work. So that way you still love to go to work at the end of the day, or at least you
Exactly.
have that
Yeah.
space, that break.
Yeah.
Because you can't have it
Voice
all be
actress,
work.
yeah, voice actress, musician, and martial artist. If that ain't a triple threat, I don't know what is. So yeah, with your culture and background, I know I mentioned before of how like, finding your, having the representation, but would you say
Yeah.
that, with your background and everything, that also was a major influence with, with your family background and being, Hong Kong,
Yes.
Philippine, yeah, would you say that it was also just like a huge, like it really helped you a lot just navigate your way through life and just, turning it into art, I guess.
I would say I have some experiences that certain like just my overall background, but especially that familial background, have definitely played a huge part in not only who I am, but how I perceive and how I create art. Absolutely, especially because my family, I am the first one born in the U.S. Both my parents immigrated, be it at various ages, but they were
Okay.
kids when they moved to the U.S.
All right.
And that
Cool.
experience is just it's so different, it's so integral. Um, it's very unique and it gives me certainly a very unique perspective, especially with that mixed household, that more mixed household. Like yes, we're all Asian, but it's different types, different countries, different cultures. And same thing with like even everything down to being not only a daughter in that kind of a family, but like an only daughter, an only kid, period. It plays a huge role in all of that. I would say it's given me a very different perspective, because it is a fairly unique scenario, and it helps me tell the story of however few many other little girls or
Yeah.
whatnot that are in that similar situation.
Yeah. Would you like to do theater again? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, absolutely. I would totally do it again. I would totally do theater more often. It just, again, I'm
Yeah.
still in school, I'm still a university student. And so the only accessible shows that I would have are these school shows. And of course, those are primarily for the drama department. And since
Right.
I'm not an acting student,
Aw.
I'm not a theater person at the school. That's how it goes. I mean, I'm totally fine with that. I mean, I would totally do it. It's just, it also, my time is a lot more valuable now, a
Exactly.
lot more valuable than it used to be. And if it's not either something I'm very passionate about making, a show I'm very passionate about, a role I'm passionate about, or if it's something that is just like completely unpaid and the like, um, I can't do it, especially with
Exactly.
how many hours it takes to do a theater production.
True. But hey, at least you do have a family that is so very much like you, being an artist and actress, and then they just instill that creativity onto you. So, I mean, how
Yeah,
many people would say
I'm very
that?
lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very lucky.
Lucky. Yeah.
Um, because my mother used to want to do acting and she used to do a lot of singing. My father used to be an art major, actually. Fun fact, at UC Berkeley. He was a painter and an artist over there. But, life happens. They wanted to have a family and to financially support that. They couldn't pursue those dreams
Mm,
as immigrants to the as immigrants and whatnot.
I
But
guess. medical field is also a pretty
Yes,
good
they
way to.
went to medical, both of them, and they knew I would
Yeah.
hate it, so they said don't do it.
Yeah.
But
Um.
I got
Of
lucky.
course.
I got lucky with them being supportive. They said as long as you don't end up starving on the streets.
Yeah. Which right now it's like, whew, especially
Well, they were like,
rough,
have a
man.
backup plan. That is also
Exactly.
key.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to do acting, they were like, absolutely follow your passions, do what you love. But until you can financially stabilize yourself with that stuff, have a
Yeah.
backup plan, have a backup career,
Yeah.
which I
But
would
I.
extend to anyone who wants to do this as well. Absolutely pursue it. But, prioritize your
Yep.
health
Of
and
course.
your safety as
It's
well,
important.
too. Like, that's very important.
Yeah. I didn't know you also played guitar. Just found that out
Yeah, I
recently.
actually
Fun
have a
fact.
guitar back there.
Oh
You
yeah.
can't see it, but it's in the corner back there where all those posters are.
Oh yeah. Like I have a ton of posters on the back, and I have plushies, pictures of
Yeah.
pets and stuff. So I guess
Yeah.
that's also a cool little nerd thing about us.
Yeah. No, I'm a big music person though. I love, love, love.
Same. I would love to talk about music, but I think we're kind of approaching the end. I'm just glad that as
Yeah.
we were kind of talking, you do have a studio that you can record in, and just
Yes, yes.
having to devote the time into doing that, and also the university, all that stuff. So I
Yes.
really do have to, I really do have to applaud you for that, for keeping
Thank
up with
you.
everything. Seriously, and congrats on
Yeah,
the
it's
agents
juggling.
too.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Yes, yeah.
Yeah. And resume, test, yeah, you just pretty much got everything going on, man. So I don't see you slowing down anytime soon. So,
Hopefully
yeah,
not. I love what
congrats.
I do. I
Yeah.
love what I do. I love keeping busy.
Yeah.
Healthy amounts of busy.
Healthy.
Healthy
That's
amounts of
key.
busy. Yes.
Super key.
But
But
yeah.
okay, yeah. Just would you like to share anything else, like any upcoming,
Ooh.
um, what you might be cooking up, if that you can talk about, of course.
Well, oof, what I can talk about is always the hardest part. Hardest question of the hardest question of the night. Uh, I mean, I'll be announcing them as they come out. If you want to check out the announcements when they come out on all platforms like X, Instagram, whatever, I am Lauren Kong underscore LAURENKONG underscore. You can see them as they pop up. I've got some fun stuff that I can hopefully talk about by the end of the year. Hopefully, it just depends on what the
Hopefully, yeah.
studios, what the directors all decide to say, But yeah, thank you so much for
Yeah.
having me.
Yep, anytime, anytime. And
So
you want to
happy we
also
found
give.
the time.
Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, so happy we finally found the time.
Oh my god, dude.
What? It's
That's
been
how.
like a year of us trying to do this.
I think maybe longer than that.
Maybe longer.
Yeah, that's how some of these end up being. Because I would have guessed that I've been wanting to book for like what, 2, 3, that long, yo, that long. The wait list is crazy, man.
It's insane.
Scheduling. But hey,
Yes.
we made it work somehow. So,
Yes. Super happy.
woo, we did it. Would you also like to give a shout out to the school that you're currently, you know,
Sure, yeah, I'll give a shout out to my university.
yeah.
Shout out UC Irvine.
Woo woo.
Go Anteaters.
I know family members and friends that have went to that, so
Yeah,
that's why I
it's a
gotta
good
give them a shout
school,
out.
I would say. I would say I have a great time. Also, especially yay the criminology program, fun program.
Yeah, it's nearby Disneyland,
It is near
the Anaheim
Disneyland. It's
Convention,
near
so,
Disneyland, and
field trips, yeah, all that jazz.
yeah,
Um, Let me see. So you did plug in your socials and all that.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, so you did plug in your stuff. Any last
Yes.
bit of advice that you want to close out with?
Last bit of advice. I mean, at the end of the day, it's it's a little narcissistic to say, but the art is just partly about you. At the end of the day, like make sure you're taking care of yourself, because how can you tell good art if you are not well, like if you're not physically, mentally, whatever. How can you really give your all to it if you're not all there? So obviously take care of yourself, live life, all those fun things, and at the end of the day, they all contribute. They all contribute.
And just do it.
Yeah, just do it.
Cliche, but
Just jump for it. Just go for it.
exactly. Would you like to do an outro for the podcast?
Like, I have no idea what to do.
Like, you could just say, "My name is Lauren Kong. You might have
Yeah.
heard me in
All
this
right,
project,
sure.
and this is Station Square
Yeah,
Podcast with Robert Jackson." So,
yeah.
whenever you're ready,
All
go
right.
for it.
So I'm Lauren Kong, and you may have heard me in projects like Maple Story, CalArt Student Films, or my time at Sandrock. And yeah, it was super great to be here.
On Station Square with Robert Jackson.
Oh, on Station Stair, it was super great
Station
to be here
Square.
on Station Square with Robert Jackson.
We'll do it. First take is always the best, anyway.
So
Completely
good.
raw, folks. But yeah,
Yes.
any last closing thoughts or?
I think that's about it. I think we touched on everything.
Yeah, we did. It's just so much that we love to talk about, but we'll probably save that for a
Yes.
follow-up in the future.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll save it for another day.
Yeah, save that, pin it, just save it
Pin
for
it,
next
put a
time.
pin in it.
Yeah. I know it's totally not sponsored, but I was just showing her this. But hey, every day you can feel like a winner at David Buster's. Totally not sponsored.
The non-spawn, but could be spawned.
Yeah, and always support video game,
Oh,
SAG.
absolutely.
Like,
Yes.
yeah, just want to give y'all a shout out. Love y'all. And yeah, no robots or AIs can ever replace humans. Just can't. I don't know how the future holds, but I'm staying optimistic for the time being. But
We're gonna hope for
anyways,
the best.
fingers crossed. But anyways, love y'all. Thank you for watching, and stick around next time on Station Square with Robert Jackson. And thank you, Lauren Kong, for being a wonderful, lovely guest. And until next time, I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Take it easy, y'all. God loves you. Bye.